Was that a foul by Collins? Well, he's had to think about it, Craig Pawson, and then decides that that was a foul. Fernandez against Kelleher. And Kelleher saves it. And he had to wait so long, Bruno Fernandes. He had to think about it for so long. Sharda's coming forward. Oh, what a goal! Absolutely brilliant.
Two teams who could both do with a win after stuttering starts to the season, as Fabian Hürzeler brings his Brighton side to southwest London to take on Chelsea. Caicedo cleverly threads it through to release Reece James. His cross, big deflection, Enzo Fernandez, Chelsea ahead. Enzo Fernandez finds himself in the right place at the right time. This afternoon, Chelsea hoping that they can cut the gaps perhaps on Liverpool. There's problems here, and now Diego Gomez, can he get there for Chalobah? Or does he bring him down? Decision to make for Simon Hooper. Chelsea find themselves down to 10 once again. Trevor Chalobah dismissed. Minte. Brighton again with many bodies forward here. In comes the cross. They've got their equaliser. And the wait for a goal is over for Danny Welbeck. Impact off the bench. Yari whips it towards the back post. The header back across. And Brighton lead. Maxime de Kuyper with the header. And they've turned this game around. Reece James immediately under pressure by Minte. Ashimpong loses possession. Gruder touches it to Danny Welbeck. Can he round it off here? Yes, he can. What an impact he's made off the bench, Danny Welbeck. And Brighton again ahead out of southwest London with all 3 points here this afternoon. They've turned it on late in the day. And what a day for Fabian Hürzeler's side.
The last two remaining unbeaten teams in the Premier League go head-to-head. Palace looking to equal their club record unbeaten run. Liverpool looking for an 8th consecutive victory. First corner of the game. Comes up towards Gay and lashed in by Sarr. What a start for Crystal Palace! Gravenberch to deliver. Salah's in there. And it's in! Chiesa! Levels for the champions! With 3.5 minutes to play. Hurled in by Lerma. Good trajectory on that. Hughes. It's Nketiah! Absolutely phenomenal! Crystal Palace have toppled the champions in the 8th minute of stoppage time.
Bournemouth will have just Liverpool above them for a few hours at least with a win. But a victory for Daniel Farke's side, and they'll be level on points with the Cherries and on to double figures at the end of September. It's Semenyo! Wow! Pure power! Straight through the heart of Leeds United. Longstaff delivers, and the header's in. It's a brilliant header by Joe Rodon. And here is Okafor, and it might break for Aronson, and the shot will come in, and what a finish! It's Longstaff. First goal for the club. Just 3 minutes left for Bournemouth. Played into the area. And the shot is in. Oh, it's a sensational finish. Bournemouth score a set-piece goal that might just send those fans home happy.
Today's hosts have won each of their last 13 meetings with Burnley in all competitions by an aggregate score of 46 goals to 2. But a Claret's victory here today would see them sit alongside City on 7 points in the early Premier League table. Jeremy Doku, options in the middle for him. On he goes, and Dubravka saves, but can only find a Manchester City shirt. Anthony for Hartman, trying to return the favour to Anthony! Burnley on the board! Jade and Anthony again! Guardiola, Haaland trying to break free. It might fall for Nunes, it does! And all of a sudden, it's Manchester City's game again. Moved on by Foden, in it goes! That might well see them home. Oscar Bob heavily involved just moments after coming on. Doku, all the way through to Haaland, who does get his goal. He pretty much always gets his goal. Haaland to put a gloss on the scoreline. 5 for Manchester City. Huge relief come the end of the game. A few scares along the way, but they've got the job done in style on the scoreboard.
Nottingham Forest rarely out of the headlines these days against Sunderland, whose return to the Premier League has produced plenty of positive comments. Xhaka stands it up. Alderete heads in. Sunderland lead. And Sunderland have an away goal in the Premier League. Wood! Oh, he made great contact. It was a vintage Chris Wood moment, except it didn't bulge the net. Sunderland are suffering here. Oh, they should have been really suffering. Wood has put it wide. Would you believe it? He doesn't.
Well, I'm shocked. Should be 1-1. Wolves walk out into a place that they know well, and they tend to do well here. And they need to find that kind of form again here tonight. And it goes again to that same kind of area. Dangerous flick, and it strikes the frame of the goal ultimately. Well, there was a chance right at the end there for Doherty. An outswinger from Arias and kept out by Vicario, but smuggled in right on the goal line. And Wolves are enjoying their trip to this part of the capital now. 2 additional minutes left. Spurs trying to find a way through. This is Tell. Champalinia! He's in this team to be a destroyer. He saves it for Spurs.
Villa are winless and almost goalless through the opening 5 league games. Fulham, the latest to try and take advantage. A chance to deepen their hosts' malaise and potentially move into the top 4. Ball in towards the near post, they've got it. Raul Jimenez back in the side, back amongst the goals, and Aston Villa back in a state of anguish. Watkins chasing, Ollie Watkins in, scores! How he needed that moment, and it's one that might transform his season and potentially Aston Villa's as well. McGinn, and travelling with it, oh, magnificent. And Villa lead at home in the league for the first time all season. Down the line for Ollie Watkins as they look for 3. Buendia! 2 in 2 minutes.
The big games keep coming for Arsenal, and now another daunting fixture at the partisan powerhouse that is St James's Park. Gordon, back to Tonali. Dangerous swing on that, he's up and he's in. Nick Voltamata, it's another header for the big German. Here is Odegaard. To Rice, flick on header's brilliant and it's in. Arsenal score, Mikel Merino against his old team. Benjamin Gabriel! And Arsenal have done it in the 96th minute! Late against City last weekend, and now 2 late goals to turn a 1-goal deficit into what's surely going to be a 2-1 win at St James's Park here today.
And tonight starts another new chapter for West Ham after recent results and performances failed to match expectations. Graham Potter was shown the door, and only hours later it opened for Nuno Espirito Santo to walk through. Ghana. It's in and the header's there, it's brilliant! Michael Keane gets the goal for Everton. Hall's delivery looked like a good one. Ghana with a strike. Well, he hit it well. A bit more energy in this West Ham side, it seems. Bowen. And with a strike! It's brilliant! That is what they needed. Jared Bowen gets West Ham level, and in some style too.
She's seen enough here. Absolutely magic stuff.
Sell your car on Motorway, sponsors of the Premier League on TNT Sports.
Goal Show Extra is back. Matt Smith and the team will be bringing you all the goals as they go in on a busy night of Champions League action. That's tonight from 7:45 on TNT Sports 3.
Amazon has increased funding for employees to £3,000 a year, every year, for career development. Providing you with valuable skills for work and home.
Life doesn't follow one route. Why should you? Decades of know-how. Reliability built in. Whatever drives you, Toyota has you covered. So wherever you go, go with confidence.
My mum works at Simply Safe, protecting houses. If something happens or even a bad person tries to get in, they'll spot it and sort it out. Mum says they can only see them when the alarm tells her. So we always activate ours.
Our security experts will only visually monitor your home when an incident occurs, but you're always protected 24/7.
Not on my watch. Dispatch a guard.
Protect what matters to you with a Simply Safe home security system. Be super safe with Simply Safe.
At AJ Bell, we're all about feel-good investing. Making ISAs and pensions feel a bit more... Even this chap is feeling good. Looking good too. Open an account today and see why we're the only ISA and pension provider to be Which recommended 7 years running. AJ Bell. Feel good investing.
You don't play Lotto. It's a conspiracy. No one ever wins.
It was me, and it could be you.
Hold up.
Lotto from the National Lottery.
community together.
This is where I'm meant to be, this is what I'm meant to do.
I knew the power of Grenfell Athletic. In 2020, we had our first kit launch. Being a Sunday League team, having a kit launch is like, wow.
That's for you.
Gift for me.
I have, yeah, mate.
The 72, that's what we're playing for. This is something bigger than each and every single one of all of us boys, yeah?
We are building a legacy, not just for us now, but for the younger generations.
We all wear that kit with a lot of pride. It means a lot to us.
A club that was born through tragedy to be triumphant is nothing short of incredible.
Hello to you and welcome to Baku on this night of UEFA Champions League football. And we have got the champions of Azerbaijan and Denmark for you here. Qarabag and Copenhagen. Two teams with excellent offerings on match day one in this competition, but only one of them grabbed the headlines across the continent. That Qarabag win at Benfica has brought some much warranted attention the way of Gurban Gurbanov's team, and they really were excellent as well. opposite end of the scale, the 37-year-old Jakob Niestrup in charge of Copenhagen, a city that he was born in. This is Jaffa Guliev with the early cross, and a dangerous one as well, dealt with by Gabriel Pereira. Certainly needed dealing with by the Copenhagen defence. Early pressure from Qarabag here, just as they would have wanted to apply. And it is the Brazilian with the first corner of the game, Cadi Borges, who will be on most of their set pieces tonight. It was Delaney with the clearance for Copenhagen. They have managed to force Qarabag back into their own half now. But if Baku wasn't bouncing already, it certainly is now. Hooked away by Huescas, the Copenhagen fullback, the Mexican. Medina under a bit of pressure from Moukoko. Might have another chance here to retrieve it, the Copenhagen forward. Couldn't quite slip the pass through. Picked up again by Robert. Now it's Copenhagen's turn to have their first crack at Qarabag's penalty area. This is the Greek Hatsidiakos, Gabriel Pereira. A bit more time for Rodrigo Huescas. These are the two champions of their respective countries facing each other tonight. It was far more of a close-run thing in the Danish Superliga last season. Copenhagen snatching the title away for previous champions Midtjylland. Qarabag pretty seamless on their way to lifting silverware of their own. They got there with 4 games to spare. Right now they are seemingly untouchable in Azerbaijan. Bouncing off the chest of Moukoko. Still going to apply some pressure to Karhalski. You might have noticed there a little bit of surface coming up there as the goalkeeper cleared it away. There's been lots of talk actually in the Danish press these past 24 hours about the quality of the pitch here in Baku. Both the coaches were asked about it in their pre-match media conferences this week. Certainly Copenhagen's coach Jakob Niestrup, or indeed their players, weren't getting pulled into that debate in any way whatsoever. The message loud and clear was that it's the same for both teams. Turf that actually only got changed in May, and the heat of the summer hasn't helped it to bed in at all, and it's fair to assume that it hasn't reached its optimum condition just yet. And this isn't Qarabag's regular home either. They're only using it for their European football this season. Got their home stadium, the Azasun Arena, elsewhere in the capital of Baku. And that doesn't meet the needs of a Champions League night, so here they are in the far larger Tofik Bahramov Stadium. Just about kept in play, and then away by Gabriel Pereira for Copenhagen. This is Mathis Silva. And the nudge in the back, which has been given away by Marcus Lopez on Alexei Kashchuk. It wasn't the one hands, it was the both hands from Lopez. Had his big moment, didn't he? The Ukrainian with his goal against Benfica to win the game for Qarabag on match day 1. Dominik Kotarski is the goalkeeper for Copenhagen, the Croatian international. There's a slight bit of breeze as well at pitch level. You can see it in the shirt of one or two of the players, fluttering away as Kadi Borges prepares to take this set piece. Didn't quite get the flight on it that he wanted. In his second spell now with Qarabag, Kadi Borges was the top scorer in Azerbaijan in his first stint back in 2022. Copenhagen know that there will be better set pieces from him tonight. Koschuk winning the header. Elianusi got under it, but almost got caught underneath it. Needed dealing with by Weskas. Jafar Guliev leaves it for Zubir, the captain. Technically really talented, the number 10. Medina. That's a pass from the centre half and a touch as well in the direction of Zubir. Having to field a lot of balls at the moment, Copenhagen, in their right-back area. Trying to get Jafar Guliev, the left-back for Qarabag, as far up the pitch as they possibly can at the start here. That was the tactic they employed against Benfica on match day 1 as well, once they settled into the game. Jakob Nystrup recognising that a couple of minor tweaks are necessary in the first few minutes of this match. Incidentally, neither of these two teams are top of their respective leagues right now, but both with good reasons, because they have played games fewer than those ahead of them. Qarabag are 5th right now, 5 games into their new domestic campaign. Copenhagen are 3rd in the Danish Superliga. Forward by Laraja. The strength from Jordan Larson. This is Delaney. Clever pass from Delaney. Spurs forced to go backwards. Sidiakos. Lopez can't keep it. Koschuk got a boot in and then got a boot on him after he sent the ball forwards. He's offering the apologies. It's a Qarabag free kick. There's nothing forceful from Delaney, just tried to put the block in and was hoping that leaving his leg behind him might just have escaped the attention of the referee. It didn't. Sloppy from Copenhagen, they've lost the ball. Zubir has hit the side netting. I think some here in Baku didn't have the right angle of that. Thought he'd found the back of the net. That was all a bit messy from Rodrigo Weskas. And suddenly Copenhagen were badly exposed. Left for Zubir. Zubir just tried to give goalkeeper Kotarski the eyes. couldn't find the corner. But there is a fair amount of concern for the Copenhagen fullback Weskas here. Talking about that pitch earlier and the fact that maybe it hasn't settled down as much as the Azerbaijani authorities would have liked. Well, that might be the reason that Weskas has injured himself here. I mean, there's no contact at all from Leandro Andrade, so it must have just been the way that he planted his foot. Didn't come with the cost of a goal for Copenhagen, but it might come at the cost of their right back. This Qarabag team who have won 11 of the past 12 titles in Azerbaijan, all under Gurban Gurbanov's guidance. Very much the country's most successful ever team. There is a fear for Rodrigo Weskas that he's not going to be able to continue here. Doesn't look comfortable, does he, the Mexican international? Scored a very, very big goal for Copenhagen in the UEFA Conference League last season in extra time against Heidenheim to get them into the round of 16, where they departed to the eventual winners Chelsea. But they are preparing a change here, the Danish team. So severe is the injury for Weskas that he's not able to depart the pitch on his own feet either. But that brings an opportunity for Yoram Zag, the on-loan Paris Saint-Germain fullback, who has settled very nicely into life in Denmark over the past few months. Copenhagen like what they see of Yoram Zag. They are able to buy him because that is an option within the loan deal with the champions of Europe. I imagine it's pretty difficult to displace the fullbacks at PSG right now. Lopez. Sidakos back to Dominik Kotarski. They will want to try and get a feel for the ball here. Copenhagen in a start that has faltered a little for the visitors. 2-1 winners against Sonajuska at the weekend in the Danish Super League. They're up against it again here. Zubir, he's got support as well. In comes the cross off the head of Lopez, only partially away. And the necessity to clear the ball into touch for a throw from Robert, just to give Copenhagen a chance to breathe here. Qarabag have come at them fast, and Copenhagen are ever so slightly wilting. Zubir. Lopez's clearance only as far as Silva. This is Pedro Bicalio. Silva, the right back, who stayed forward, and he's earned another Qarabag corner. He hasn't. He'll kick the decision. That is a brilliant option right now for Abdullah Zubair, who carried that ball forward, and then he's always got Jafar Guliev coming up on his left-hand side. That's a puzzle I think the Jakob Niestrup's team need to solve here. Copenhagen, who haven't often found their sweet spots when they've been on the road in the Champions League. They've only won 2 of their last 20 away from home in the competition proper. This is the Brazilian Mateus Silva, who's been in Europe since 2019 with clubs in Portugal and Bulgaria, with Lokomotiv Plovdiv, for his move here a couple of years ago. Zubair, he's now going to test Zag. He's danced away from a couple. Andrade. That's Jafar Guliev going again. And he didn't quite reach the ball that time. Got a lot to offer in terms of legs from that left-back area. Copenhagen just can't get hold of the ball right now. Kashchuk might reach that one. Always put a lovely ball in as well, dealt with well by Hatzidiakos, but taken back again by Andrade. Andrade's delivery, and Zubair was hanging on to Joram Zag. She didn't necessarily need to do, because it looked like Qarabag had a 2-on-1 situation at the back post there. Camilo Duran had just peeled away from Gabriel Pereira. Zubair may be a bit hasty in his decision to take hold of the Copenhagen substitute. Followed by Delaney. Medina just having a check. Kohalski had come out of his goal to see if he was to be an option for him. It's a lovely pass again up towards Leandro Andrade, who's just occupying the space beautifully between midfield and forwards right now. Kashchuk managing to keep his feet, keep the move going for Qarabag. He's got the throw. "20 minutes where he has justified his inclusion so far tonight, Alexei Kashchuk. He's only on the pitch for 9 minutes when he grabbed that winning goal against Benfica. Beer's such a tricky customer, didn't really warrant him winning that situation, but he did. Jaffa Guliev unable to take it with him, and then has given away the free kick. But there is this onus from Qarabag to play the attractive stuff that their supporters love to see. And that's what Gurbanov very much wants from his team as well. He takes his inspiration, Gurbanov, from Pep Guardiola's Barcelona teams of previous years. Actually spent time with the great mind Guardiola himself at Barca back in 2012. He went out to Spain, Gurbanov, to pick his brains about how he could take some of his styles and implement them on this Qarabag side. Late lunge there from Lucas Laraja. Doesn't mind a challenge, the Copenhagen midfielder, that's for sure. To the World Cup in 2018 with his nation Denmark. We've had 23 relatively absorbing minutes, even if we haven't had the big chance for either team on goal so far. Using his body well, winning the free kick. One of the new recruits of Qarabag, having joined in June from Palmeiras in Brazil. Offside flag is up against Camilo Duran. Took his goal really well against Benfica 2 weeks ago too, the Colombian Duran. It is cleanly dealt with by Mustafa Zadeh as he would have wanted there. Just a bit slow to get himself back into his own half there, Duran. Former Feyenoord man Lopez with the throw. This is El Yanussi driving the ball across. Medina's header. And the push on Andrade. I think it was that foul by Delaney that caught the referee's eye. First time these two teams have met each other since Champions League playoff game in 2017, which Qarabag won on away goals. Gurbanov was in charge back then as well. So came up against each other in the Cup Winners' Cup as it was then, back in the late 1990s. Copenhagen 4-0 winners out here in Azerbaijan. Very different Qarabag team now, though. Streets ahead of the side that the Danes met that night. There's been a slightly disjointed element about this game so far. A few of those, the latest one from Delaney on Caddy Borges, who's won a few free kicks so far. Katarski's clearance. It eventually drops the way of Borges, but only because of Andrada's work. Here's Duran, and here is the attack from Qarabag that carries the threat. Zubir, Duran, good piece of goalkeeping from Katarski. Spread himself well, was certainly aware of players beyond him inside his 6-yard box. Zubir is the one that's making things happen at the moment. It's his pass again. Touch off by Silva. And the shot, which has hit the base of the post, but is in from Zubir. On the follow-up, the captain awaits to score Qarabag's first goal of the night. And now Baku really is bouncing. The eye catchers of this UEFA Champions League campaign so far are at it again. It was only a half clearance from Copenhagen, and Zubir keeping himself onside when that initial shot came in, which Katarski was nowhere near, but Zubir reacted quickly. Calio a touch unfortunate that he's not the goal scorer, but his teammate was in the right place. And a very popular goal scorer around these parts as well. He is Qarabag royalty, Abdallah Zubir. In excess of 300 games for the club, and suddenly his team are up against it. El-Yunusi's put it wide. Well, that was a big chance for Mohamed El-Yunusi. Cameras might be focusing on Qarabag's number 10 right now, but they easily could have been zoned in on Copenhagen's number 10 instead. He's done well to win the initial header as well, El-Yunusi. Takes it back off Robert. Well, I think at the very least, El-Yunusi has to be hitting the target there. Here he is again, the goal scorer, Zubir. Medina. Zubir. Kadi Borges. Well, against Benfica, once they scored, they really got into their groove, Qarabag, having struggled in that first 20 minutes or so out in Portugal. That will be the fear for Copenhagen, is that the goal is going to elicit fluency from the home team. And I think Jakob Niestrup will be particularly irritated that his team weren't able to immediately counteract the punch that Qarabag delivered on them with that opportunity for El-Yunusi. That was a big one. This is Thomas Delaney. Now Roberts trying to test Silva. He's got the corner out of Pedro Bicalio. He's been in good form of late, Robert, the 20-year-old. Scored his goal against Leverkusen, got his first Superliga goals of the season at the weekend in that win over Sonayuska. Referee still not quite prepared to let Robert crack on with this corner. Eventually Robert does deliver, and with some pace as well. Qarabag have made a bit of a mess of the clearance, inviting more Copenhagen pressure. This is Gabriel Pereira, the centre-back. Between him and Marcos Lopez, they've got it wrong. And I think each is blaming the other. This is the goal that divides them at the moment. That of Abdallah Zubir, with his 72nd goal for his club, across what has been a very healthy time in Azerbaijan. Sidiakos stumbling into Duran. Stumbled the ball into his own goal in that 2-2 draw with Bayer Leverkusen 2 weeks ago. Medina not afraid to try the long ball forward, but didn't get that one right. That is something Qarabag have in their armoury as well, the ability to play the ball quickly up towards Camilo Duran. Copenhagen right now cannot get their forward players into the game, the likes of El Younousi and Moukoko and Robert and Larsson on either wing. Calio. He saw somebody. I don't think there was anybody there, though. Maybe he just saw the flash of the dark shirt of Nistrup, the Copenhagen head coach. Lopez. You're going to see it somehow came through to Moukoko, who was offside. Well, he does have a few goals to his name already in a FC Copenhagen shirt. Youssoufa Moukoko. 4 in 17 games so far in Denmark. He was on loan at Nice last season in France. They had an option to buy him from Borussia Dortmund, but chose not to. Lovely touch again by Jafar Guliev. He's been one of the standouts so far. And the decision goes his way. The touch from Zag. Being plunged into a bear pit of a situation, the teenager here on loan from PSG. Calio dropping a shoulder with great ease. Here is Silva. Mustafa Zadeh for Medina. It's a big presence back there, Kevin Medina, but he looks very assured when he's got the ball at his feet. Qarabag with the lead, and the numbers would suggest justifiably so as well. And they're passing the eye test too right now. That's another terrific pass, and it's carried through to Andrade. This is Oleksiy Kaschuk. Kaschuk! Kotarski reacting. It's not gone out for a corner though. See the Baku crowd were urging him to have a crack at goal. Doesn't need to have the confidence, having scored that winner against Benfica. Will already be coursing through the veins. Well won by Silva, great strength from the fullback. Silva's cross. Oh, that's an excellent stop, Kotarski. Reacting to Zubir's header. Well, he's made 2 saves in the space of about 60 seconds, Dominik Kotarski. And I think that second one comfortably better than the first, just in terms of having to get up there and react to turn it away. It was a high stretch and a firm palm. Copenhagen won't like the fact they're relying on their goalkeeper right now. Jaffa Guliev's layoff. And now it's teed up for Silva. It was bobbling towards him, but he's still got the hit in. And Kotarski kept his eye on that one too. Didn't look like the pitch was particularly kind to Mateus Silva there as he was winding one up. Wasn't kind either to Kotarski there. He's had to hurry his clearance towards his left back Lopez. They're feeling the heat more than anyone else right now, the Copenhagen fullbacks, Lopez and Zag. This is that first save from Kotarski, which was certainly flamboyant, but actually on reflection it does take a small deflection on its way towards Kotarski's goal, so it's a better save, I think, than we initially gave credit for. And double up on Kastrup to take it back here, Copenhagen. Delaney, and Koku. A bit of defending from Mustafa Zadeh. And now right through the middle, Duran. Camilo Duran still going. And the goalkeeper with the interception. And eventually the ultimate saviour is the flag for Copenhagen. I think the worry for the Danes will be the big fat gap in their defence here, but on reflection, Duran isn't just slightly offside, he's a long way offside. And that's probably why it was so easy for him to initially burst through. There's that save again from Dominik Kotarski. He's going to want a little more from his side here, the young Copenhagen coach. Silva, that's loose from the Qarabag defender. And that's a nice pass for Robert. Robert across goal, and he's going to get it again here, Robert. Silva got a little bit of it. And then the shot over the top from Laraja. Really did wallop it, but maybe got too much thrust behind it. Scored a very big goal, actually, Lucas Laraja, a couple of years ago against Galatasaray for Copenhagen, that took the club into the UEFA Champions League knockout phase. Five minutes of the first half to play, but we are going to have a little extra added on, I think, because of that injury to Rodrigo Huescas. I just wonder in many ways whether Jakob Niestrup would quite welcome that half-time whistle to come soon, just so he has a chance to spend a bit of time with his team and get some critical instructions across to them. There will be a minor fear on that Copenhagen bench that the damage could get worse for this Copenhagen side before half-time. Scoreline is only 1-0 to Qarabag, despite those 2 big chances for the home team. Right now, Qarabag are in the top 4 in terms of the Champions League phase. Yes, it's early days. Yes, there's more games to come later, but nevertheless, that is an extremely unlikely prominent position that the Azerbaijani champions hold. But hang on to that thought. Good bit of defending from Bicalio, defensive midfielder, back there to stop the run of Robert. Silva wriggling away from El Younousi, who himself will be ruining the one big chance that Copenhagen have had in this game, and the fact he didn't take it. He is the one as well that Copenhagen would have wanted the ball to fall to, joint top goal scorer this season for the club. It's a clever ball forward. Here is Jordan Larsen. We haven't seen too much of him at all in this first half for the Danish champions. He's run into Medina, picked up by Laraja, who threatened to go to ground and then realised that he wasn't going to get a penalty out of Jafar Guliev, and a corner will do instead. Minimal chances for Copenhagen in this first half to plant their own flag tonight in Baku. There's a cluster of bodies: Hatzidiakos, Gabriel Pereira, Laraja, Delaney, all together, hunkered up around the penalty spot for this corner, which is too deep for all of them. Delaney's now over by the opposite corner. And Silva's taking it away from him. Just touched the hand of Leandro Andrade. Very calm presence, the referee, in this first half. Serdar Gozerboyuk of the Netherlands got that decision right as well. And we're into 3 minutes of first half stoppage time in Baku. This is the chance for the Danes to very much change the picture here at half-time. Seven around the edge of the Qarabag penalty area for the free kick. And it's up and over the top of the crossbar. And much like most of the halves for Mateusz Kochalski in the Qarabag goal, nothing to worry about. Koku. Marcos Lopez. Robert is moving, but was moving too soon. The offside flag is up. And really should not have found himself in that position, having had full sight of the back line of Qarabag there. The young winger. Shifted out in the direction of Zubir, and you knew his touch was going to be good. Zag's been lured in. Jaffa Guliev. Oh, the shot, which is brilliantly blocked. Andrada with the effort. It's Marcos Lopez who was brave enough to plunge his body in the way of it. I just think it sort of hit Marcos Lopez, really, rather than him making a beeline for the ball, but it worked. Kasri checked to make sure it didn't hit the arm of the Copenhagen left-back. Check that is happening right now. Don't think it did. And there is the clarity. Corner Qarabag, right on the brink of half-time. Kari Borges with it. Medina in there. There's the half-time whistle. Qarabag are very much enjoying this Champions League experience. Winners on match day 1 in Benfica. And at half-time, thanks to one of their very best, Abdullah Zubir, they are leading Copenhagen by 1-0. There was that opportunity for Leandro Andrada, which could have extended the advantage that Qarabag have, but nevertheless, this has been progressive again from the Azerbaijani champions. And at the break in Baku, it's Qarabag 1, Copenhagen 0.
This match is brought to you by Pepsi. And Jingdong, UEFA Champions League official partners.
Okay, everybody, we've had the end of the first half in these two 12:45 kickoffs. Union Saint-Gilloise taking on Newcastle in Brussels, and we also saw Qarabag taking on Copenhagen in Azerbaijan. Welcome into the Heineken Halftime Report, everybody. I'm your host, Hannah Cash, sat alongside Nigel Rio-Coker, JG Dyer and Michael Lahoud. A great guest to be sat alongside today. What are you two doing?
What, is that your smile? What? I'm just sitting here. Are you constipated? I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here smiling like this.
That's his TV smile. Okay, everybody, let's get get into these highlights. We've got this Union Saint-Gilloise team taking on Newcastle, who lost to Barcelona in match day 1. Let's start with a goal in the 17th minute from the one and only Voltemade for Newcastle.
Yes, this is a good game for Newcastle coming into. We talked about the team selection and the strength of Voltemade. Look how this goal comes about. It's Elanga getting the ball outside and putting crosses in the box. Because of his height, it causes so much problem. Tonali gets onto it and Voltemade mangles that shot goalwards as he's standing there. But this is one of the strengths of having Voltemade up top. Real presence in the box. Newcastle take a 1-0 lead.
And credit to Union Saint-Gilloise for not giving up. And this is a side that shocked PSV fans. And it's off dead ball situations. It's Adam Zorgan, the deep-lying playmaker, 1 of 9 shots in the first half. Nick Pope, very comfortable save. He has been immense for Newcastle so far this season.
But if they're going to understand the Champions League, they need to understand that there's elements of the game that you need to tactically just be disciplined. Going into half-time, this is not a good foul to be given away, especially in the penalty box. Read the scouting report. Anthony Elanga, one of the quickest players across Europe, is always going to get there first. And he just gets his toe to it. You know it's an inevitable penalty. And it would seem like a bit of discussion. Kieran Trippier had the ball first, but this guy needed the goal more. And Anthony Gordon, first goal of the season, second career goal in the Champions League, and I know I can see the weight being lifted off his shoulder right there.
Taking a look now at Nick Voltemade. He's huge for this Newcastle team coming in the summer. He's had 6 appearances and 3 goals. He's only started in those 6 appearances twice. He's been huge.
Hit the ground running, really has made an impact. And the thing is, there's more to come. He hasn't trained a lot with the team, but he's gone in at the deep end and he's proven to be a fantastic signing for Newcastle so far. Great attributes.
OK, then, everybody, that was the end of our first half of the Heineken halftime report. We've got the next half. We're going to be checking into Azerbaijan after this short one. into our Heineken halftime, everybody. We're going to be looking at our Heineken unmissable moment, which came in the Qarabag and Copenhagen game, coming from Abdullah Zubair in the only goal in the game.
He's been the heartbeat of this team, and the reactions. I know this is just going to look like a simple poacher's finish, but the captain really has found beautiful pockets today, has been pulling a lot of corners in terms of just finding the angles, really dictating the play for his team, and rightfully so, they're 1-0 up because they've been the better team and really establishing themselves in this Champions League campaign as well.
Yeah, Qarabag 1-0 up at half-time, 2 pot-4 teams, a close game, will probably be a close game going into the second half.
Yeah, I'm shocked at how poor Copenhagen has really been, and it had not been for the goalkeeper, the Croatian Dominik Kartowski, this game would be done and dusted. The rest of the team needs to wake up in the second half.
OK, everybody, after the short break, we're going to be sending you out to the second half, so stay tuned for all of that.
This match is brought to you by Pepsi. And Jingdong, UEFA Champions League official partners.
Welcome back to Baku. Double change from Copenhagen at the break. No surprise, really, given they are trailing 1-0 and the situation could have been far more damaging for them against Qarabag here. So Victor Claesson has come on, the very experienced Swede, as well as Janusuke Suzuki, the young Japanese defender. There might be a slight reshuffle as well in terms of what Copenhagen are going to try and do in this second half. Taken 2 attacking players off in Robert and Makoko, who was struggling to impact himself on the game. Certainly no question at all about the team that deserved to be in front at half-time. The horsemen of Qarabag. Quite been at a canter, but not too far off it. Here is Laraja for Copenhagen, who will need to offer more in this second half if they are to leave Baku with anything tonight. First foul of the second half by Marcos Lopez. Did actually have some time, Lopez, in Major League Soccer in the United States with the San Jose Earthquakes. Clearly Jakob Niestrup has sensed that there was a need to make alterations at the break. Might only be 37, Niestrup, but is very much trusted by the Copenhagen hierarchy, so much so that he is right up there now in terms of coaches with a great winning record with the club. In fact, there's only 2 in Copenhagen's history who have won more games in charge than Niestrup. That's the Swede Hans Backer, and probably Copenhagen's greatest ever coach, Ståle Solbakken. It's the first shot of the second half, which is routine for Kahalski. And Yunussi, who also had the best chance of Copenhagen's first period too. Up into the sky by Gabriel Pereira. Forward again by Hatzidiakos. Yunussi trying to get his body in front of Silva. Already there is much more encouragement, even in 3 minutes of this second half for Copenhagen. Nicely done by Kadi Borges, taking his team out of trouble and putting them into a promising situation. Andrada, Raja got a bit of the ball. Sidiakis dwelt on it. Lopez settles it all down. Yunussi's going to do the right thing, put the ball out of play so one of his teammates can have some treatment here. There's Lucas Laraja, who is the one in need. That was in the build-up, that problem for Jordan Larsson. Was an important touch by Laraja just to break up the flow of Leandro Andrada. Slipped forward towards Larsson, challenged by Kadi Borges. You saw a bit of water fly up from the surface as well. They have been getting the sprinklers out again at half-time just to add an extra layer to the pitch, because it has looked a bit dry, a bit patchy at times. Nicely taken down by Larsson, picked up by Zag, who skips away from his man but can't send the ball with any purpose into the Qarabag box. French under-19 international Yoram Zag. And now Marcos Lopez. Was there some sort of loose arm there from the fullback? There is at least enough contact for the referee to book the Copenhagen defender. First yellow card of the evening. Maybe a slightly harsh one as well for Marcus Lopez. League winner in Denmark with Copenhagen, a league winner in the Netherlands as well with Feyenoord. Got the job 3 years ago, Jakob Niestrup, when Jes Thorup was sacked. He'd been working as his number 2. The club were 9th when he took over. He won them the double that season, then got his hands on the league title again in 2025. Both of these clubs really value the opportunity to be playing Champions League football. Each of them came through from the second qualifying round of the competition to be here. No team actually scored more goals in those Champions League qualifiers than Qarabag, 14 in all they plundered. On so far tonight from that man, Abdallah Zubir, to go with the 3 they got in Benfica a fortnight ago. It's Kani Borges. Now Zubir, electric noise when he gets the ball, but not the ball that Duran wanted from him. He's 33 now, Zubir, but he still moves like a 23-year-old. This is when I think Copenhagen will know that they're going to find problems if they commit bodies forward, because Qarabag are capable of really hurting opponents on the counter-attack in the transition like that. No way through for Larsen up against Medina. Colombian, who's been with the club for 5 years now, having joined from Portuguese side Chavez. Medina, that wasn't accurate from the centre-back. This is Victor Claesson for Copenhagen. Zag. Gabriel Pereira. Medina just stooping slightly to clear. Alexei Kaschuk carrying it and carrying his team up the pitch with it. Under-20 World Cup winner with Ukraine, Alexei Kaschuk, back in 2019 when they shocked quite a few. I think I'm right in saying the Under-20 World Cup is happening again right now. Super atmosphere in Baku tonight. Kadi Borges with the ball. Klassen's header. Further away by Lopez. Jafar-Guliev. That's a clever ball. Copenhagen alive to it though. Raja. Upfield by Janusuke Suzuki and hooked very nicely in the direction of Larsen, who couldn't force his way past both Medina and Jafar-Guliev. Raja. Lopez. Too close to Kahalski. Well, he is the one, isn't he, that Copenhagen will be looking at and saying, can you come up with the goals tonight? Because he has scored some big goals in this competition before, Mohamed El-Younousi. This is Larsen, and the shot from Laraja. Another small tester for Kahalski in the Qarabag goal, but nothing more than that. They have mostly been tasters rather than testers for the Qarabag keeper. Zubir. Has he asked too much of Kashchuk? He has. "21 European campaigns Qarabag have had, and Gurban Gurbanov has been at the helm for 16 of them, which is quite incredible. A very successful time as a player as well. He may well be a name that you remember, Gurban Gurbanov, from his time with the Azerbaijan national team. Larsen, 1-2 with Laraja, who gets the throw. Jafar-Guliev, who was very prominent in the first half for Qarabag. This is Yoram Zag for Copenhagen. Larsen, that's an interesting ball. It's an equally robust piece of defending by Mateus Silva. It's quite a curious case, Silva, because he hasn't played too much in the league this season for Qarabag. It's almost as if they've been saving his legs so he can play in all the Champions League games, which he has done so far. Those 6 qualifying games that have taken Qarabag to this point. The Baku crowd at the Tofik Bakhramov Republican Stadium trying to make it as intimidating as it possibly can be for Copenhagen. Just felt like in the first half the Danes were more intimidated by those in front of them on the pitch rather than anything going on in the stands. Showed a bit more life in this second half, the champions of Denmark. Lopez's corner. The goalkeeper's punch was sideways rather than out of the box. There was an infringement in there that's been spotted by the Dutch official. Thomas Delaney is suggesting that the referee's decision should have been the other way. He was saying that he was having his shirt tugged inside that slight melee that was going on inside the 6-yard box, and to be fair, he was. Definitely an element of interesting tussle with Pedro Bicalio there. Silva with El-Younousi behind him, and Lopez now in front of him. Eventually stopped by Suzuki. Delaney's clearance closed down. El-Younousi and Klassen combining and hunting to win it back for Copenhagen. Raja. Delaney. This is something that Copenhagen just weren't able to do in the first half, have any spell of possession whatsoever. That's going to be, at the very least, a free kick to Qarabag. Delaney might be lucky to escape a yellow card here. He has. It was a pretty clear tug on Leandro Andrade. Direct and effective. Here's Kashchuk for Qarabag, and he's got the corner. Suzuki's come on to bolster the defence, but that's come direct from Kohalski, the goalkeeper, all the way forward to the right winger, Kashchuk. Hour in at Baku, and the lead given to Qarabag by Abdullah Zubir just before the half-hour mark. Remains the slender difference. Is there a bit of wizardry to come from the Brazilian Cade Borges from this corner here? Doesn't matter what happens from there on in, because the referee has penalised one of his teammates inside the box. The offender, I think, was Bekwal Mustafazadeh there. Let's see. Has he got the weight on the pass right? I think he has. And the header from Larsson. To the grateful grasp of Mateusz Kohalski. It's a brilliant delivery from a really difficult position from Marcus Lopez. Did well just to keep it in play, let alone get a ball into the box like that. Without doubt, this is a different Copenhagen side that have come out for this second half. One that is much more akin to a Jakob Niestrup side. There's finally some intensity about their play. But they need to find a way to break Qarabag down, and this Qarabag team have not conceded in their last 2 league games since that win over Benfica. Should be noted they were aided by red cards to their opponents, Araz and Gabala, in both of those matches, though, domestically. Zaga's in a lot of room, and Lopez has seen him. Gabriel Pereira. It's the required accuracy to get it on to Jordan Larsson, who had that chance a moment ago from Lopez's ball. Not too dissimilar a position to which he scored against Bayer Leverkusen a fortnight ago, Jordan Larsson. Showed excellent movement to get the first goal of the game that night at Parken. This is Lopez, and still Klassen's touch And he's got it again, Klaassen. Back to Lopez. Lifted in towards El Yunusi. And rather dramatically away by Silva. Actually breaks down by Klaassen, but Qarabag are fielding Copenhagen pressure that just wasn't there in the first half. Sixteen-time Danish champions, Copenhagen. They've won more league titles than any other club in their homelands. Back in the Champions League this year as well. They weren't there last year. They were playing in the UEFA Conference League. They were knocked out in the round of 16 to the team that eventually went on to win the competition, Chelsea. There's Lopez. El Yunusi. Can the Norwegian conjure up? It's bounced back to El Yunusi again, and it's going to be a corner to Copenhagen. And you can see Lucas Laraja. There he is, just encouraging his teammates to say, look, we are on top here. Let's make this pay. One of the vocal members of the team, the former Bordeaux and Genoa man, Laraja. Delaney and Klaassen flanking the goalkeeper Kohalski, and that's where it's gone. And Medina sticking it behind for another corner. Same area, quite possibly. Same player on the corner. El Yunusi again. And the touch which has taken it away. It bounced off the head of Hatzidiakos, I think. Just couldn't quite deviate it in. Might have been Laraja just behind him, actually. It was all just a bit messy in the end from Copenhagen. Laraja almost turned his back on it as it came past him and Medina. Zag. Klaassen. Pereira. Raja found some space. Klaassen couldn't help it on to El Yunusi. The foul conceded by the experienced Swede Klaassen. So a Copenhagen change. This is Elias Ashuri, who has just returned from a couple of weeks out with an injury, hasn't played since Copenhagen's draw with Bayer Leverkusen. Diakos, the centre-half, has been removed for him, so it's a change of intent from Jakob Nystrup. Qarabag are going to respond with one of their own. This is the Ghanaian Emmanuel Adai, who is going to come on here for Alexei Kashchuk. He's getting a warm, parting applause from the Baku crowds for his endeavours tonight, even though he doesn't have another Champions League goal to go with the one he scored against Benfica 2 weeks ago. First impact from the substitute. Ashuri is to leave one in, as they say on Silva. And even before tonight, the omens were pretty good for Qarabag. Last season in the Champions League, the first time we saw that brand new league phase, 14 of the 15 teams who won their opening game went on to qualify for the knockout stage. The only club who didn't were Sparta Praha. 20 minutes away, Qarabag, from 2 games played, 2 wins. Still many more challenges to come, but this is a mightily unexpected start that is suddenly being formulated by Qarabag. Husky taking command of the situation, the goalkeeper. Got Athletic Club next, Qarabag, in the Champions League. They've got Chelsea coming here, home games against Ajax and Frankfurt as well. And away trips in there to Napoli, and the champions of England, Liverpool too, who were surprisingly beaten last night by Galatasaray. Jafar Guliev with the Qarabag throw, the Azerbaijan international, who's a regular for his country as well, as he has for the club that he's been with since he was 18 years old. So there, that's not where he wanted it to go. Younousi getting in front of Silva, and I think maybe caught El Younousi there, but on Copenhagen go. El Younousi's made a swift recovery. Zag. Gabriel Pereira. Ashuri. Nicely done by Lopez, teed up by Laraja. It's away by Medina. Younousi still trying to be the central figure for Copenhagen. Delaney. It's a foul on Ashuri. In fact, it's not. It's Marcos Lopez who was clattered into by Silva, who's also been booked. Tidy from the Brazilian. Gurban Gurbanov, the Qarabag head coach, was saying in his press conference this week that he felt the game could really turn into a tactical battle, and that might well be how this is decided. Copenhagen making Qarabag think in this second half. Lopez, having been fouled, is the one on the free kick. Husky's still trying to get his own house in order. Lopez with the ball, Araja missed it, Delaney's got it. Araja does drop to him eventually.